What's up, everyone? I know it's been a minute since I've made a video, but anyway, for a long time, I've been wanting to make this video where I rank every single character of Scream Queens. There's 52 in total, and I'm counting main characters, recurring characters, and guest stars. And there's a few that aren't included that are just so minimal that no one would even know who the hell they are, so I left them out. But yeah, in total there are 52 characters that I'm going to be ranking, and I've been trying to wrap my head around how I'm gonna do that, whether I do like a standard ranking video where I like number them and stuff. But for the past year, there's been those tier list videos on YouTube that I've seen a lot of people do where they put certain things into tiers. And I said, hey, that's kind of the perfect way to do this. So here we are. By the way, there are spoilers in this video, so proceed with caution. Okay, so my tiers are Icons, which is the number one. These are the best characters, my favorite characters, the ones that I think are iconic, and the show would not be the same without them. And then next I have Legends, which is pretty similar. These are really good characters. The show also wouldn't be the same without them either, but they aren't quite to the icon status like some of these characters are. And then under that I have Great. These are great characters, however, they may not be on the same level as some of these characters. I'm sure you'll get where I'm going with this as I start ranking these characters. Under that is Good. These are like neutral characters. Like, yeah, they're good. They're not doing anything crazy. They're not awful by any means, but they're there, and I'm fine with them being there. Then under that is just fine. Like, these characters don't really do much. They're not forgettable by any means, but they're there, and they're not necessarily good, but they're not necessarily bad. So that's like the true neutral of this list. Then under that is boring. These are characters that I just think are boring. So not much to say about that. Under boring is completely forgettable. These are characters that I look at and I see their name and I'm like, who the hell are you? I don't remember what you did on the show. You're just completely forgettable. And there are a couple of them on this list, so we'll get into that too. And then under that is trash. These are just characters I don't like. I remember them, but I don't like them. I don't think they add much to the show. I don't like what they did on the show. It's nothing against their actors. I guess it is a mixture of actor and writing and overall portrayal of this character. If the character's not good, there's not much an actor can do with it. And if the actor's not great, a good character is not going to come from it. So there's not too many trash characters in the show. But anyway, let's get started. First and foremost, we have Chanel Oberlin. There's no question about it. She is an icon. She is Scream Queens. The show is nothing without her. She is the anchor of the show. She's the main character. We can't have it without her. Next we have Wes Gardner. She is the protagonist of Season 1. She disappears for Season 2. I have thoughts about her, as you may have seen based on my other Scream Queens videos, but I do not think she is the best character by any means. I think she can get really annoying at times, and I guess some of my favorite things about Grace are basically retcon in Season 2, where she's now in an insane asylum, and so yeah, that boosts her a little bit, but for what she did in Season 1, she's I don't know, honestly. She is... I'm teetering between good and just fine. I'm gonna say good, because she is a driving force of Season 1, and she's good. She's fine. I will say, if there ends up being a Season 3, which, if you've watched my channel, you know it's a big discussion, but who knows, honestly. But if there was a Season 3, I would love for her to come back and be a literal killer. Just full-on 180-degree twist on her Season 1 arc and just make her be a killer. We saw that happen with Wes in Season 2, her dad. The way Season 2 ended with the Kappa Kappa Tau pin in Chanel's car with the Red Devil in the back seat, I think that would be a kind of a perfect way to tie that cliffhanger and Season 1 together and explain her absence a bit and just kind of completely show how her character went completely mad. If that happened, she could be in legend territory. But based on that, no. Oh, no, I did not mean to move her. Okay, yep, she's good. Next we have Hester. So Hester in Season 1, obviously she's the killer. She was the main killer reveal in season 1. She was kind of obvious that I thought she was a red herring. I honestly thought Grace was the killer in season 1. In season 2, they bring her back, and she kind of, I mean, she's good, she's funny, but she doesn't really do much. I would say she really brings a lot to every episode she's in, and I'm gonna put her at great. I don't think she's quite in the legend territory because there are some characters that completely are great in every episode they're in, no matter the season. With the exception of a few moments in season 2, I kind of don't really remember anything she really did in season 2, so she's great. We'll put her there. Next we have Chad Radwell. So Chad is obviously hilarious. He's a great comedic relief, and Glenn Powell plays him very well. I love Chad. I think he's great. But is he a legend? Is he an icon? Is he just great? I'm going to put him as a legend. I think he's great, and he's one of the few main characters in season 1 that did get killed off, and I think that adds a lot to a show when they're willing to kill off major characters, and yeah, he's great. His death is great, his entire arc in season 1 is great, he's great comedic relief, he's a legend. Moving on. Pete Martinez. So this is Grace's right-hand man in the whole investigation they were doing. Okay, I will say, up until episode 12, I think it was, Dorcas is the name of the episode, I think Pete was really boring. But his twist of being a double agent of sorts and actually working for the Red Devil was actually surprising to me. I was not expecting that. And Diego Benetta actually had some really good acting in that episode. And the scene where he explains his motives to Grace is my favorite Grace scene and my favorite Pete scene, and it gives me chills. It's one of season 1's best moments and the only great moment that has these two characters. But besides that, I would say Pete is... Oh my god, no. What just happened? I would say Pete is just fine. When your character only has one great moment and the rest are kind of boring, you're not playing with these types of characters. Next, we have Zeday Williams. Okay, Zeday is obviously a great character. She's like what Grace wanted to be. She's the true protagonist that isn't annoying in season 1. And she basically takes on Grace's role in season 2 in terms of investigating. Her and Chamberlain kind of become Grace and Pete of season 2. But they do it so much better in a much more entertaining way and not boring, not annoying. She's great in season 1 and she's great in season 2. My only problem with Zeday is that it's not Zeday's fault at all. It's the writers for getting her kidnapped in 2 seasons, and her season 2 kidnapping was just awful because it spans multiple episodes and it kind of wastes her character for a while there. But I will say Zeday is great. Moving on, we have Chanel number 5. I will say Chanel number 5 in season 1 does get a little annoying, and she's kind of always kissing up to Chanel, but there are a few moments where she does shine in season 1. But to me, she really starts to shine in season 2. She's one of my favorite parts of season 2. I think her growth as a character, she kind of becomes way more bearable and more of a human, and she's one of the better parts of season 2. As we know, season 2 kind of has some bad moments, but I think Chanel number 5 actually became better in season 2 than season 1. But she's good overall, and she is a very integral part of the show. I'm also going to put her at great, because I don't quite think she's up with the legends and icons, but I do think she's an integral part of the show, so I'll keep her at great. Next we have Wes Gardner. So Wes obviously is Grace's dad, and throughout season 1, he's the overprotective dad, and we might think he's the killer. He's honestly crazy how he protects Grace, and he keeps secrets about her mom, and so he's kind of a trash guy. And then he comes back in season 2, and he's one of the green meanies. He's a killer, so... And the way he killed Chamberlain was so heartless, awful, but in the end, that's a kind of a good twist. I mean, it is hella retcon, which can sometimes be awful, but he's honestly not as good as... He's kind of boring. Okay, if it was just season 1, I'd put him in boring, but since he does have the twist in season 2, I'll put him at just fine. Next we have Gigi Caldwell. Okay, I love Gigi. I love Nassim Pedrad. I think she's amazing in season 1. I think she's great as a Red Devil, and she's so funny. Yeah, she's great. Period. Okay, here we have Earl Grey. Can anyone tell me anything this character did? He had a crush on, I think, Zeday? Did he have a crush on Zeday? I know Boone had a crush on Zeday. And honestly, I've just recently rewatched season 1, and I still can't think of what he did. So he's completely forgettable. Alright, next we have Chanel number 3. Okay, I love Billy Lord. I love Chanel number 3. She's a legend. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. This is my list. These are my opinions. If you have a problem with it, I really don't care. So, she's a legend. Moving on. Dean Munch. Jamie Lee Curtis. She is the Scream Queen. She is amazing in everything that she does. I love Jamie Lee Curtis. She's great in season 1. She's also great in season 2, although I don't like her little health scare storyline. I think that was so lazy. There are a few inconsistencies with her between season 1 and season 2, but Jamie Lee Curtis plays her well, and she's a standout in every scene that she's in, and the show was made for her, and she's an icon, no question about it. Okay, next we have Ingrid Hoffel, played by Kirsty Alley. So we're not ranking actors, so let me just say that. Kirsty Alley is trash. If I was ranking Kirsty Alley, she'd go into trash. But moving on, I think Ingrid Hoffel, she's not great. Her only good quality is that she has a motive connected to Miss Bean, and Miss Bean is great, and I just like that Miss Bean got some attention in season 2 after being one of the first to die in season 1. Actually, I think she was the first to die. Yeah, she was. Yeah, Ingrid Hoffel, she's boring. I'm sorry, she's boring. Next we have Cassidy Cascade. Now he's one of the season 2 additions. He was not in season 1. Most of his storyline was with Billy Lord. Chanel number 3. And he ended up being one of the Green Meanies. His dad was killed by the hospital staff back in 1995 or wherever. Oh, it was 1985, I think, was season 2's flashbacks. But anyway, he's kind of forgettable. Honestly, he's boring. I like Taylor Lautner. He's boring. I'm sorry. It's he spends the whole season being like, oh, I'm dead because my skin's cold. And then he dies. So, next we have Chamberlain, also a season 2 addition. Chamberlain was cute. He worked with Zeday a lot. He was kind of trying to win her over that whole season, which is a little weird, but whatever. I know Zeday thought he was the killer, and then he got killed by Wes, which was so sad and such a twist. Honestly, he's good. Chamberlain's good. He's a good character, meaning, he's pure. All his intentions are mostly pure. He really didn't do anything wrong. He's not annoying. He was a fine addition to season 2. I enjoyed every time he was on screen. He did not take away from anything. He is good by definition. Next we have Dr. Brock Holt. Trash. Moving on. Denise Hempful. Icon, no doubt about it. She is technically a recurring character, which is insane because she should be billed as a main character because she carries a lot of episodes, and any episode that she is in, its quality is increased by huge exponents because of her part in it. She is hilarious. All of her lines are amazing. I've rewatched season 1, and everything that she says is a moment. And Niecy Nash is so funny as a person and as an actor, and her delivery is always so great. Denise is amazing. The show would not be the same without her. She is great. I love her so much. She's an icon. Next we have Candle Girl. What the hell is her name? Candle. What is your name? Jennifer. Her whole character is that she likes candles, and she's kind of weird. And in her defense, she plays that well. I definitely get that. She likes candles, so. But honestly, she's kind of boring. Sorry. Okay, next we have Sam. Sam is also one of those characters that plays a minimal role in season 1 and then gets killed off really early on. But with Chanel number 3, she kind of sparks the pansexual in Chanel number 3, and that's kind of fun. And the moments she has with Chanel number 3 are good. She gave Chanel number 3 that iconic line, "If it was possible for me to feel anything, I'd totally be crying right now." And so yeah, she has a few moments. Let's see. She's not a good character, let's be honest. Is she just fine, or is she boring? I'll give her the benefit of the doubt and say she's just fine. Okay, next we have Chanel number 2, played by Ariana Grande. I love Ariana Grande, so this might be a little biased, but okay, let's talk about Chanel number 2 as a character. She really doesn't do much. She gets killed in episode 2, and then she comes back as a fever dream to Chanel, but as a character herself, she doesn't do much. She doesn't have very many moments in the series, but all of her moments are great and memorable. I mean, we got her pushing Chanel down the stairs, we got the whole blood oath scene, we got her death scene, which is iconic, her funeral scene. Like, all of her moments are great. So honestly, I'm gonna put her at great. Okay, next we have Caulfield, the Dickie Dollar scholar who gets his arm chopped off and then later on gets his head chopped off. That's about all I remember about him, so he's going in completely forgettable. Next we have Boone. Okay, Boone I think is an interesting one because he does have a big role, but he's technically just a guest star, like Ariana, but he is one of the Red Devils, he's one of the babies in the bathtub, like the whole season should revolve around him, but he barely ever shows up. The fact that he doesn't even show up in the finale, I think, is bullshit. Like, Nick Jonas, what the fuck were you doing? Anyway, that should have been in his contract to come back for the finale if they're gonna make him one of the Red Devils. His whole character arc is that he's stupid. He's just fine. That might be controversial, but that's how I feel. Okay, next we have the detective Chisholm, I think his name was. Whatever. Boring, trash, completely forgettable. He's trash. Anyway, next we have Dodger. Okay, Dodger, forgettable. I'm sorry. I think all the Dickie Dollar scholars are going to be forgettable. And then we have Roger, who's also forgettable, but I did like his death a little bit more, so he's going to go slightly in front of Dodger. Yeah, forgettable. Next we have Miss Bean. Okay, Miss Bean is so sweet. I love her. She's so nice. She did not deserve her face fried off in the fryer. She did not deserve the hell that Chanel put her through. And as a character, she really doesn't do much, but I'm gonna say she's good. Yeah, Miss Bean is good. Yeah, I stand by that. Okay, next we have Flashback Girl. What's her name? Okay, next we have Sophia Doyle, the girl who gave birth to the twins in the bathtub herself. The whole season revolves around her. I mean, she really doesn't. I think she may have 1 or 2 lines before she ends up dead. And although the whole plot revolves around her, she's also forgettable. But honestly, she's more memorable than most of these people, so I'm going to put her towards the front of completely forgettable. Mandy. She is also a flashback girl from 1995, but she does show up later in the season of season 1. Grace and Pete come to her trailer park to question her about the killings and the whole baby in the bathtub and all that. And then she gets murdered in a pretty suspenseful scene in her trailer, and I do remember that, and I think that slightly pushes her from completely forgettable to boring. She's a very minor character, but she's not completely forgettable, so therefore she's in boring. Next we have this girl, another flashback girl. I don't remember what she did, so she's going in completely forgettable. Same with her. I know she held the baby. That's all I know. Next we have Jane Hollis from season 2. She plays Taylor Lautner's mom. She's the mastermind behind Cassidy's green meanie motives. And, you know, she's interesting. I'm honestly going to put her at just fine. I think she had a few moments that were memorable. Yeah, all in all, her motive was pretty solid. Dr. Mike, played by Jerry O'Connell. He's in the flashbacks of season 2. He and Nurse Thomas, who is right here, they are the ones that let Jane's husband die, who is over here. But yeah, they really don't do much. They're in the flashbacks, and I mean, they're fine. They're kind of boring, though. I'll put them here. Nurse Thomas is literally forgettable. Like, I remember him. I don't remember her. But yeah, she's going in forgettable. I'm sorry, ma'am. Okay, next we have Chanel number 7. She's part of the new class of Chanels in season 2. She Doesn't do much. I remember her death. She got hung over the plate of cookies, but she's a little boring. Sorry. Next, we have Chanel number 8. Honestly, she's in the same boat. She really doesn't have much of a role. She's just there, kind of. She's boring. I'm sorry. Then we have Chanel number 10. And she's honestly completely forgettable. Like, I don't know what she did. Like, I remember these two. I do not remember her. I'm sorry. Okay, next we have Melanie Dorcas. She is, in season 1, she was the sorority sister that got burnt by the spray tan. She's technically the first, victim of the Red Devil, even though she didn't die. Her episode, Dorcas, there's a whole episode named after her, so she doesn't really do much, though, and she is just a guest character. Is she boring, or is she fine? She's kind of boring. I'll put her back with her season 1 friends. Next we have Jane's husband. I don't remember his name. He dies, instantly in season 2. Taylor Lautner's dad. He's Cassidy's dad. And, I think that's all I know about him. Completely forgettable. I'm sorry. Chanel number 11. She's the one with 11 fingers. That's about all we know about her. Her death was memorable, like how he cuts her finger off and then stabs her. So she's not completely forgettable, but she is boring. Okay, next we have Chanel pour Homme. He's the only male Chanel. He also has an episode named after him, but honestly, I don't remember what he did. I know he wrote fan fiction about the Chanels, and then there was a scavenger hunt. He got gutted, quite literally. So he's boring. I remember certain things about him, so he's not completely forgettable, but he's boring. Okay, next we have Cecily Strong's character, Catherine Hobart. I love Cecily Strong. I think she's funny, and I think she is a good part of the first episode. I don't think the premiere episode of season 2 is that great as a premiere, but I do love Cecily Strong, and I think she did a good job. But all in all, she dies by the end of the episode. She's a one-episode character, but I did like her. But yeah, I'm putting her in just fine. Okay, next we have Tyler. I'm putting him in trash. Sorry. Next we have Randall. This is Chad's friend in season 2 that he comes to the hospital for because he can't stop screaming. His death is one of my favorites. It kind of sets the tone for the season 2 deaths. How they're much more gory and real than season 1. So for that, he's not completely forgettable. But he is boring. Okay, next we have Sheila Bongardner, played by Sherry O'Terry. She was the patient that couldn't stop orgasming, and I remember that about her. And her decapitation is also one of my favorite deaths of the series, how it's in slow motion and it looks really good. It is one of the best shot scenes of Scream Queens as a whole, and honestly, it's great. I love it. But as a character, she's boring. Okay, next we have whatever this guy's name was, played by the guy from The Office, Kevin. I know he was there in season 2. I don't remember what he did. I don't remember him at all. So that kind of pushes him from completely forgettable to trash. So there's that. Next we have, what was his name? Lynn from season 2. He had the lotion or whatever. Trash. I honestly don't remember him one bit. Next is the guy who read the will in season 2 of the Radwells. I'm pretty sure that's all he did. Trash. Okay, next we have this girl who was the patient with the foreign accent syndrome in season 2. Let's see. Is she trash? Or is she completely forgettable? I'm gonna put her at completely forgettable because she is, but she didn't do anything that makes me hate her. I can't say I hate these characters, but I hate these characters because they literally add nothing. So that's why they're in trash. And she at least provided a plot line for an episode. Okay, moving on, we have Chanel number 9. Another one of my favorite deaths. I think that is gruesome, how she died. I think it was somewhat pretty well written how her fear of needles is clearly established and then her death is the payoff of that. I won't call her completely forgettable, but I'll put her with her other friends at boring. although I think she's a little less boring than those two, so I will put her there. Okay, next we have Dr. Scarlett Lovin, played by Brooke Shields. She literally comes in right towards the end of season 2, and she's Brooke Shields, so she does add a lot to that episode. I love that episode mostly because of her. So yeah, I like her character a lot. So I'm gonna put her in good, which may be a little controversial, but she's there. She's good. Okay, last but certainly not least, we have Deaf Taylor Swift. She is one of the first to die in season 1, but she is memorable. I bet all of you remember Deaf Taylor Swift. Okay. She's not good, I'm sorry. I'm gonna put her in just fine, because she doesn't do much. She dies pretty early, but she is memorable, but she's not with these characters, Okay, so now that I have everybody in their tiers, I kind of want to adjust a few things because I think we're pretty sparse up here, and I think a few of these characters deserve to be moved up a little bit. I will put Zeday in Legends. I agree with this. Zeday in Legends. Yeah, I agree with all this. Okay, honestly, I stand by this. Let's go through it one last time. For icons, we have Chanel Oberlin, Dean Munch, and Denise Hempful. Okay, so just under them, we have the legends. We got Chad Radwell, Chanel number 3, and Zeday Williams. Yeah, I would say with the icons, these are probably my top 6 characters of Scream Queens. Obviously, since I ranked them, dumbass. Okay, I will say I like Chanel number 3 more than Chad, slightly. So we're going to move them a little bit. Okay, and then for great, we have Hester, Chanel number 5, Gigi, and Chanel number 2. Love them. I'm sensing a theme here with season 1 characters being in the top 3 tiers. I think we could have predicted that. Okay, and then just under that is good. We have Grace, we have Chamberlain, we have Miss Bean, and we have Dr. Scarlett Lovin. I stand by it. I know it might be a little controversial to put Grace with Miss Bean and Dr. Scarlett Lovin because that's such an obscure character, but I stand by it. And then just under that, we have Just Fine. We got Pete, we got Wes, Boone, Sam, Jane, whatever her name was, I said it earlier, and Deaf Taylor Swift. I stand by that as well. And then now we get into the crowded categories. We got the boring characters. These are mostly one-episode characters or very few episodes. These two, we got Ingrid Hoffel and Cassidy Cascade, who actually are in pretty much all of season 2, so that kind of sucks for them that they're here, but I stand by it. They're all boring, but not completely forgettable. Then for completely forgettable, we have literally, who the hell are these people? I'm not even going to name them because I can't name most of them. I know Roger and Dodger and Earl Grey and Nurse Thomas, and I can't really name anybody else. And then for the characters that I just don't like, it's my opinion that they are trash. We have Dr. Brock Holt. I kind of explain why I don't like Dr. Brock Holt in my ranking the seasons video from 2 years ago. But yeah, basically, I just think he doesn't bring anything to the table, and I don't like his hand storyline, and I hate how there are 2 episodes revolving around his stupid-ass hand. I don't give a shit about his hand, so he's trash. And then we have these completely unmemorable characters that they're just trash because I don't remember them. Alright, so this is my ranking of every Scream Queens character. Let me know if you disagree with any of these placements. Who would you rank as an icon, a legend? Maybe I'll link this tier list so you can rank your own in the description below if I can figure out how to do that. That's going to be all for this video. Thanks for sticking around for this break. I know I take too many breaks, but hey, I am here now. So I sincerely hope you all are doing well and that all of your family and friends are safe and staying safe, and and staying home as much as they can. I will see you soon. Let me know if you want me to do a similar video to this where I rank American Horror Story characters or anything like that. I'll see you next time. I have a few videos that I will be coming out with before the end of this year, and obviously, unfortunately, we won't be reviewing a season of American Horror Story this year because there won't be a season of American Horror Story this year, which sucks, but I'll see you guys soon. Give this video a like if you liked it, and leave me a comment below. I hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you soon.